Welcome to the Rustic Garden. Today is September 1st, and now is a great time to start your cool weather vegetables. I'm going to show you how to seed start lettuce and peas. Start them in these cells, in cups, and you can get them growing for 2 or 3 weeks. And then when they get to size, when they look something like this, a little bit smaller, you can just go and pop them into your containers or into the ground. Now, of course, if you've got space in your garden right now, you can directly sow all this right into your containers or to the ground, but I don't have a lot of space right now. So the first thing that's important to understand is that your cool weather greens, lettuces, they can take a frost. This leaf can actually freeze through, thaw, and it's not going to be damaged. They love 40 to 50 degree nights. They like 60 to 70 degree days, and you really want these to grow when it's cool. And the cool weather in Maryland Zone 7 is in spring and in fall, so you can really grow these twice a season. Now to set this up, I already started my greens over here. I sell seeds at my seed shop. This is the ruby lettuce, and I put in 3 or 4 seeds into each cell and just press it in, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. The depth really doesn't matter. I've done experiments and the seeds always germinate. You want to put in 2 or 3 in each cell because you don't want to sit around waiting for one seed to germinate. And this is all I do to get them seed started. Do this about 2 or 3 weeks before they're ready to go into the ground or into containers. Now today, like I said, is the first. These have been in here almost 4 weeks. And the reason that is because for the last week, it's been 95 degrees here. Just a crazy heat wave again. So I'm keeping these under the shade, and they're going to go out tonight or tomorrow. And I'm going to show you the planting for this too in this video. So that's how I basically set up my leafy greens. 2 or 3 seeds per cell, and you label them. Now, peas. Peas can be easily started in cups and in larger cells. This is a 4 cell pack. You can see 1 cell, 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cells, unlike the 6 cell pack. Because peas are bigger seeds, these are little marvels, these only get about 2 feet tall, you don't want to start them in something this size. The roots are just going to coil up, they're going to get a little bit damaged. You can just put in 1 or 2 seeds per cell here and just press them in about 1/2 inch, cover them up, and you can start your peas just like that. I like starting them in larger containers about this size, and I put in 3 peas. Press them in about 1/2 inch and you're good to go. Now I water these in from the bottom. Just fill the tray up about 1/4 inch, set the cells in there, let them absorb the water from the bottom, dump out the excess after about 20 or 30 minutes. When you're seed starting outdoors, it really doesn't matter what you use for starting mix. You want something nice and fine, something that holds moisture, something that drains. I'm just using a basic seed starting mix, but you could use your container mix. So once you have your seeds started, this is what they look like in about 4 weeks. Somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks, you want to get them out into the ground. Let me show you the different places that I've started these cool weather vegetables and give you some ideas of how you can get them growing in containers. Here are some of the seeds that I've started for the cool weather. I have endive, kohlrabi, red Russian kale, different kinds of beets. I believe that's a bok choy. My lettuces, my peas. I sell seeds at my seed shop, www.therusticgarden.com. And right now I have a sale going on. 7 packs of cool weather vegetables for $5, and I have 3 different sets, and you can check that out. I'll put a link in. I like to grow a lot of my cool weather vegetables in containers. Something about this depth is great for lettuces, and I space them out about 4 inches apart when I do single heads or single plantings of the lettuce. Sometimes I'll do a bunch of lettuces and I plant them really closely together, and then when they get to about this tall, I just cut them off, leave the roots in the ground, and that's to collect baby greens. I want a spacing of about 4 inches if I'm going to let these get larger, get to size. This is another section of containers for my container garden. These are all lettuce plugs, which basically are 5 or 6 plants in each plug, about 3 inches apart. When these get to 2 or 3 inches tall, I cut them right at the bottom, soil level, leave the roots in the ground, and they will continue to produce until a hard freeze comes and kills the plant. And a hard freeze is something that freezes the root system. Remember, the leaves can freeze, they can frost, and the plants do perfectly fine. And just real quick, because it's been 95 degrees for the last week, this bunch died out, but there's a little tiny leaf coming up. As long as the roots stay in the ground and survive, they will keep sending up roots. Also planted another round of tiny Tims. These will mature in about 50 days, hopefully before the frost comes, and I will get more tomatoes. More plugs right in there. You can use a flower box. It's only about 4 or 5 inches tall. We're going to be feeding these water-soluble fertilizer. I'll talk about that when I show you the planting of the plugs that I have up on the deck. But these again, all cut and come again greens. Hans Gelba, 2 dwarf plants in there on each side, and some more greens. And again, you can just use flower boxes. You don't need anything fancy. All right, let's go back up to the deck. So in this space I had cucumbers. I just took them out a couple days ago. And again, you want to start your transplant so you're getting them in the ground within 2 or 3 weeks. Of course, it's been almost 4 weeks with these plants, only because 1, I got busy, but 2, it was just really, really hot. And if you put peas or the leafy greens into really hot days as transplants, they could die off. So I just kept them in the shade for a little bit longer. It's better to protect them than to put them out too early. I'm going to do this one-handed, and this is why I like the transplants. I was finishing up my cucumbers, and I can just drop in the plugs while filming just like that. And these are all going to be perfect for the leafy green. So in the front, so to speak, of the container, I can just drop in these lettuce plugs. And in a container this size, I can also put in really anywhere from 4 to 8 pea plants. Now what I did with this soil was I kind of fluffed it up, put in 3 tablespoons of organic fertilizer, and just mixed it through. Nothing fancy. We're going to talk about the water solubles. That's how I take care of my leafy greens. Peas actually fix their own nitrogen, which means they pull nitrogen out of the air, so to speak, out of the soil via the root system. And you can see after 4 weeks how wound the root ball is. So you really want to time it for about 3 weeks. There are 3 pea plants here, and just dig a hole. I'm going to put this towards the back. I've got the trellising system set up. This is a nice old trellis and lamp that I had. The light doesn't work anymore, but I really like the look for the cucumbers and for the peas. Cucumbers faded out about last week. Drop the peas in. Press the soil around and just press them in lightly. And as these get a little bit stronger, pea stems are hollow, they'll break, I will start trellising them up the trellis. But this is a great way to use transplants and just set up a new fall container really, really quickly. I have more peas in this container. Again, these were cucumbers, remove them. Now these are, I think, Oregon Sugar 2s. And I got 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. They went in about a week ago before the heat came, and you can see that they're a little bit beat up. But I can again make a hole here, grab a lettuce plug, drop it in, and I'm good to go. The little marble peas can be grown in something this size. This is about 10 inches deep, and it's about 10 inches across. That's a perfect size for dwarf peas. These are the little marble, a little bit of trellising, some string will go across there. If you're interested in picking up the 7 packs of seeds for $5 for your cool weather fall garden, and you can use them again in the spring, some of the seeds that you'll find there are sugar snap peas, the little marble peas, endive, ruby, prize head lettuce, Paris Island, salad bowl lettuce, arugula, and red Russian kale. And there's 3 different sets, 7 packs, $5. Alright, so most of your fall weather crops are leafy greens, and they're best really taken care of with water-soluble fertilizer. Let me show you what I'm going to use. For my fall garden and leafy greens, I'm going to be using fish emulsion and Vermistera worm casting tea. Pretty straightforward. Just follow the instructions and water in. Let's go to some of the containers. That's all you want to put in there. This is the fish emulsion, and people always wonder, well, how much do I give them? Just water in just like that. Peas don't need a whole lot, just give them a splash. Just give them a quick soaking with a fish emulsion. You don't need a lot. Just give them a quick watering in. You're going to do this about every 10 to 14 days. And you'll have a great leafy green lettuce garden for the fall. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my seed shop at www.therestedgarden.com. .com. And now is a great time to really get your fall weather crops started.